have Julian in the house, and we're going to be talking about Disney Plus and the series, all the different shows, and not really about the shows, but whether or not it is the right call for them to be focusing on those as opposed to focusing on movies right now. So let's start with you, Amadeus. What's your thoughts on focusing more on the long form storytelling versus the I guess the the movies?
I think I said, but what I think I like is that Dave Filoni has created wonderful stories with the animated series, Clone Wars, Resistance, Rebels. Um, I think by creating the animations, he can bring more characters from Legends, like he did with Thrawn, Kanan, Ezra, Sula. He can create them and bring them from Legends
Dave Filoni
into the
has created
animation
wonderful.
and make them canon. So that being said, if Disney were to scrap the sequel and bring more um, characters from Legends to canon through animation with Dave Filoni, he can actually make they can actually make another sequel and take characters such as Mara Jade, such as the kids that were in Legend, Han Solo's and Leia's kids, Anakin, Jaina, and Jason, and we can actually have the timeline that we're all so into so far before the actual sequel that just came out, and we can have a timeline that we're all ready know, not the timeline that Disney created, the timeline that Legends has created, and we'll have what we wanted. We all wanted Thrawn when we first read Thrawn trilogy that Tim Zahn created. We
Mm-hmm.
got Thrawn. We all want to see Mara Jade. We all want to see
Yes.
uh, Janin and Jason growing up. We all want to see the new Jedi Order. Mara Jade from Emperor's Hand to being a Master Jedi. We all want to see that, but will we get it? That's the question.
That's a good question. Julian, what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm down with series, and also too, I'm down with movies. It's like it's like I said before, have like the main kind of like keep like the main series of the Star Wars story itself, and like in like movies, but then also to explore like side characters of like in the movies and stuff like that, like and put them in the series, like fillers in between, like even like fillers in between like episodes and stuff like that. Like I don't know, maybe like so show something like how Luke got his metal hand or something like that. Show it being crafted, who he had to go to and find out how to get one and all that stuff, and then show him actually having to become like actually get used to it and using it and stuff like that. Show something like that.
What would you guys think of like imagine this like so we get the Mary Jade and Luke thing going on, right? We get an Ahsoka show. We have the Mandalorian going on. We have a show with Ezra and Thrawn out in deep space, and we get those going for about 2 seasons or so of each one, right? And then all of a sudden, bam! There's a movie that brings all of them together.
What we would call that would be cross. I don't think that would be happening because a lot of them are in different eras.
Oh, they could bring them all into the same era. You could have Mara Jade meet Luke in the same Mandalorian era. You could
That
have you could have the Ezra and Thrawn still out in deep space in that same era. You could have Ahsoka and Sabine or whatever searching for Ezra in the same era, and obviously the
well,
Mandalorian's already happening.
yeah, but Ezra, Sabine and Rand looking for Ezra can be in the same era. Mara Jade looking for or trying to search for Luke to kill Luke, like it was in Legends, is in the same era. But where Ezra and Thrawn are in space is a different era than where Mara Jade and Luke were because Thrawn was already outside of space. He was actually beyond and past the part where Ezra and Thrawn left in Rebels.
So
He was
so
already
so
part
so
of it. He was
are
already.
you talking the new canon or are you talking in Legends?
I'm talking Legends right now because
So so
if we were to move Legends into canon,
oh, I see
there's
what
all
you.
that
Okay, okay.
because yeah, because that's where that would be. Because if we were to move Legends into canon, because Mara Jade, because when you the moment you spoke Mara Jade, you started speaking Legends, and that's bringing Legends back into canon. So that's where you started. So if you were to do that, you have a whole different timeline, and you can't speak that part because in Legend, Thrawn and Mara Jade are one. They're part of the same empire. Although she doesn't really like Thrawn, she has to do his orders. Not all the time. She speaks for the empire. So uh, she is out there to kill Luke until she falls in love with him. Then there's that the fact that Ezra is not part of that timeline at that point until they create Ezra as a character, or in the comics, I believe it's the comics. But and to that point, Thrawn, Luke, and Mara Jade are part of one timeline in the Legends. When you go back in time into the comics, Ezra, Kanan, and Thrawn are also part of one timeline, but that's the timeline before Mara Jade.
See, I totally see where you're going with that. And if we were to take a Legends and just recanonize it, uh,
Yes.
where that would cause problems is that there's new Thrawn books, so they would have to say that those don't exist in canon.
True.
I was thinking of a less literal and more of a let's take all those elements of the legends and let's adapt them as good as possible within you know, building back up towards the sequel trilogy, but not necessarily going exact. That way, we could keep the new Thrawn books in there and be able to just and just be able to make everything work out. Because I think that. So, have either of you guys heard of the term the Filoni verse?
No,
So I've
I have
heard of it,
not.
but I never actually knew what it meant.
So there's rumors out there that right now Disney is working on a Filoniverse, which is going to be all these interconnected shows that he's working on, and that it's going to include a Search for Ezra. It's going to include an actual Ezra and Thrawn series, as in they're both still out in the unknown regions. So that's going to be a series by itself, while Ahsoka and Sabine are looking for him. And those two series will eventually meld together as Ahsoka and Sabine find Ezra. And then there's also going to be the Mandalorian, and then Boba Fett show.
Hmm.
So if you threw in a Mara Jade show, Mara Jade and Luke show, you'd end up with that. So I think that that's maybe the way it's going to go. What about you, Julian? As far as like connecting shows together, like, are you cool with that type of thing, or do you think that that just kind of makes things too complicated?
Oh no, I'm down with that stuff. Kind of like how they, well, it's like how you see with like the, like I said, I can only pay like reference to that like through like other series and stuff like that, like Marvel, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. Got all the Marvel movies and stuff like that. All of them connected get together. Now with that, I kind of wish the shows would connect with the movies in a way because they happen in the same universe and characters from the movies are mentioned in the shows. So, why not have it all together? Yeah, that's like, even hopefully say in some kind of maybe like future movies of Star Wars. Next thing you know, here's the Mandalorian showing up out of nowhere, or
Mm-hmm.
even other Mandalorians, you know what I mean? Or even like the other Yoda, here's baby Yoda, but not a baby anymore. He's older, kind of like teen Yoda or something like
Yeah.
that. Something like do that. Like, well, yeah, like intertwining everything, connecting shows with movies. Oh, I'm down for that. It just makes everything more interesting. It makes more connection. Like you can be like, oh, this person has this connection to them now in this sort of way. Because then, like I said, I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Amadeus, do you think there's any chance that we don't at some point see Baby Yoda and or the Mandalorian in a movie?
Hmm. The way the Mandalorian is going, I do not think so. The
You don't.
only reason why,
Okay, go ahead.
because if the Mandalorian is the way he's moving and he's trying to look for um, either Baby Yoda's people. There are two people. The way Reddit believes it's going, he's trying to deliver him to two people. either two people. He's trying to deliver Baby Yoda to his own race, or he's trying to deliver him to the Jedi.
Hmm.
So if he delivers Baby Yoda to one of the two groups, that is where his journey ends. But he will start a new journey because I know for a fact the Mandalorian is not going to end on season 2 or season 3. It's going to continue going as long as the fans watch it, as long as they continue reviews. Now, if that is where Baby Yoda leaves the show, then we'll not forget about Baby Yoda there, but that's where we know that Mandalorian and Baby Yoda will not have their own movie because he has already delivered Baby Yoda to where he has to be. As for Mandalorian, though, we will probably see a movie with him, but Baby Yoda will not be in it.
You know,
Only because the journey with Baby Yoda has already finished.
this is what I would say is I was convinced that Baby Yoda or that Mandalorian would be handing Baby Yoda off at the end of this season. Like I was originally convinced that. I now think that, and this is kind of a off the like really strange theory. And if I'm right, I'm genius. If I'm not, then you guys can forget that I said it. But
I will not.
my theory is that the Mandalorian, the title character, is not Din Djarin. The Mandalorian is Baby Yoda, and this is going to be his journey towards becoming a Mandalorian. So that's my hot take. Like it. So, but going back to the will he be taking him to the Jedi or his species? As of this moment, I don't think he knows the difference. I think he assumes when he hears about this race of space sorcerers, he thinks that they all look like Baby Yoda. He just assumes, I think, at this moment that every single Jedi is of Baby Yoda's species, and he has
Everything looks
no
like
reason.
Yoda.
What's that?
Everything looks like Yoda.
Yeah, because what else? What other reference point does he have? He doesn't know that there's human and Togruta and Twi'lek and all those Jedi. He's going to be shocked when he meets Ahsoka or he meets one of these other Jedi characters and be like, whoa, wait a second, that just blew my mind.
He'd be like, whoa, you can do what the baby does, but you're not green and small. What the?
You're not cute. We can't sell toys of you.
Mind blown. Mandalorian. Season 2 end.
But as far as going into the movies, I wouldn't even say necessarily that we get a Mandalorian movie or that we get those two together in movies. But the fact
have like a reference or something, or like even a little cameo.
Yeah, or just as a character that the Mandalorian joins in a fight in one of the movies, or Baby Yoda ends up being one of the Jedi or Force users that is included in part of a movie or whatever. I could definitely see that. I mean, could you see that, Amadeus?
Maybe.
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 But kind of going back to it, I don't think that the movies are needed at this point, and they will get back to it. There's a lot of money to be made in the movies. But I think that they're going to wait
anywhere.
Oh, but you know what? For Disney Plus, the way they make their money is they increase subscriptions, and there's only a certain. At some point, you hit a kind of a plateau on that, in which case, then all you're doing is you're trying to keep subscribers, and adding these shows is going to help in that, but it's not going to bring in the same amount of income as what a movie is going to. But we also have to. They're selling more merchandise of Baby Yoda than they sold of any merchandise they sold for the sequel trilogy by a long shot. So they also have to think in terms of that. But I think that the movies, I don't think that they're going to release another movie for Star Wars. They're not going to do it in 2023, I don't think. Or they could, but they want to be damn sure they do at least $1.5 billion. And you know who's going to help them get there? Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel. You can be darn sure that everybody involved with Star Wars, he's not going to be in charge of Star Wars, but you can be darn sure that Disney has him speaking to Filoni, speaking to Favreau, not speaking to Kathleen Kennedy because she's going to be out. But you can what he did with Marvel has never been done before, and Disney wants to do the exact same thing with Star Wars. So who better to help them create the infrastructure than Kevin Feige?
The Star Wars universe is connected.
Yeah, Star Wars, technically Star Wars is more connected than Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Only because every single movie, every single comic book, every single cutscene from the games, they all happen within the same universe. The only thing that isn't canon is anything Legends, and then like the Lego Star Wars stuff isn't canon. Besides that, everything else is canon. Whereas Marvel, you have your Agents of Shield that's no longer considered part of the canon. You have Runaways. You have all these other ones that are no longer considered part of the same continuity. And but that's going to change too, because now, so Kevin Feige used to be in control of just the movies. Now he's in charge of all of Marvel, including the comic books.
So now he's going to be able to put them all together into like one universe or something. Yeah.
So you can be darn sure that every single time that we see a TV show from here on out, that anything that's greenlit by Kevin Feige will be part of that same continuity, which is going to make things even better, I think.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to make Star Wars just that much, or Marvel that much better to watch. And then Star Wars, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what they're going to be doing in Disney Plus. I don't care about the movies. I guess the last question I have for you guys is, if Star Wars doesn't have another movie for 10 years, but they have great Disney Plus content that entire time, are you happy or are you sad?
I'll be happy.
I'd be happy as long as all the stuff's good. It sticks true to the series itself, or like even the lore itself. Then I'm down with that.
I completely agree. I don't need the movies. I just need good content. I need content that actually looks like two people actually talk to each other and discussed what's going on, instead of one person sitting down and writing a script and then having another person completely ignore that script and write their own, and then that first person comes back and ignores the second person and writes his own script. We can't do that again. Like, us Star Wars fans, I don't think we could take it. I think that would be a final straw if they ever did that again. I think they learned their lesson. So that's why Filoni, Favreau, 2020. Those are our two. That's our president, vice president. Let's go. Let's do it. Anything else you guys got? You got anything else you want to say, Amadeus?
I'm good. I mean, and now I remember I said earlier I have to do this too, but I have actually no. Other than that, I think a lot of legends need to become canon. I would say which legends can become canon, and they are going to be pretty good to become canon. Then there's what I really want to see. The one thing that he's the very character I fell in love with when I first read the book, and that was back in 2001. The book came out before then. I was Thrawn. I got Thrawn. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
I am so happy with that. When I play, and you got the game last night, Empire at War. If you want to stream that, I would like to stream that.
Yep.
But you will like it. There's a mod called Thrawn's Revenge, and there are so many things that we can learn from that when it comes to strategy. But just because Thrawn's Revenge is on there, I love the game even more. Thrawn is one of my favorite characters. When I watch Rebels,
nice.
But if they can make other legends canon, such as Mara Jade, such as Anakin, Jason, and Jaina, they can do a lot more by making legends canon, because there are so much in that Star Wars universe that Disney can let free, but they're just putting it like in the prison, and it shouldn't be done that way.
I can agree with that. You know what we should do? We should do at some point, like, do a show that we just talk about if because they're not going to make Legends canon. I just don't see it happening. But if we get to choose what are the things that we most want to bring over from Legends, what are the things that are absolute must? And I agree, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin Solo would be just amazing to see.
And
Actually,
the last one but not least, and that's the reason why I was so upset when they called him Ben Skywalker.
yep, yep, I totally agree with that. You got it?
Kathleen,
Oh, good.
you suck when you named him Ben Solo. Ben Skywalker, not Ben Solo.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. You got anything else, Julian?
Nope. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm good. I've
Alright.
said my part. I'm happy.
Yes, yes, you are happy camper. Anyways, this has been Order 77. We will see you all later.